Hey, this is Steve Parke. I worked with Prince for 13 years and did all kinds of crazy stuff. You'll hear about it on Musicians Reveal with Joe Kelley. Oh, another one that was really cool. At the Mill City Music Festival, I'm
Hmm.
off the side of the stage hanging out with Prince and Maite and Larry Graham. No, not Larry Graham, I'm sorry. Maceo Parker. Um, and Prince gets ready to go on stage, and he's been over there stretching and kind of doing high kicks and all this stuff to get ready. And he goes on stage, the crowd goes wild, blah blah blah. He's launching into the first song. Maybe like 3 to 4 minutes in, Maceo turns right to me and he goes, "You know what? Your boss, that guy's the greatest I've ever heard." And I was like,
Wow.
"Wow, wow!" Considering all the
Yeah.
people he's worked with,
Yeah.
that's a hell of a compliment, so little things like that, are just super cool, you know.
Yeah. I guess that's this way Prince complimented you by showing you that, you know,
Yeah,
those
yeah,
moments. They said, did he ever thank you? Did he ever apologize? But that's a human side that you experienced because he appreciated you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel
I
like I
got,
was lucky that I wasn't a musician, frankly. That's that's part
yeah.
of it. Because and I only say that because I know, I would hear from some of the people where, something like you'd have a day where you're working on something or, it's not going the way you want or whatever. And then he'd be like, "Do you need me to play that?" And of course that puts you in that like, "Oh my God, no,
Uh,
I'll get it," kind of
yeah.
attitude. And with me, I knew craft wise, I knew things he didn't know. I mean, he had ideas, but he didn't know how to do them. So he relied on me to be that person, but he also sometimes relied on me for my opinion on stuff, which was, I took that for granted at the time. But later on, when people asked me, like, "Well, did you have input on the photos?" It's like, yeah, I did actually. I mean, he would come with basically what he wanted to do, but once we got past the point of kind of getting what he was looking for, we kept shooting. I'd say, I could say like, "Hey, turn to the right, lift your chin a little bit," things like that, or have conversations during it about, the look of it or whatever. And so, again, in the moment, you kind of do what you do. You're not thinking in the long term like, "Oh, I need to remember this."
Yeah. Yeah.
So one day I can tell people, it's just the way it was. And, but having done the book tour and talking with people, it's kind of reminds you when you hear their experiences, it all comes back to you a little bit too. Like you start going back and forth and new little things pop up like, "Oh, right, this happened. I kind of forgot that one."
And speaking of the tour, some highly successful. I know the one in Baltimore, your hometown there. They really went all out with a
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
I saw
oh
the
my God.
the video you were saying. I hope you get to keep those prints you were mentioning.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. They did an amazing job. I mean, it blew me away. I knew what they were going to do. They talked about it and they kind of walked me through, but walking into it was a whole nother story. I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unbelievable. So no, it's been great across the board. I've got to talk to really, really great people. My buddy Paul Peterson, Mike
Hmm.
Scott, Stacia Lang, who was great, and I love Stacia because we had done something together on my first book, and she comes prepared to talk. Like she's got sticky notes in her book, and
Oh,
I even
really?
told the
Okay.
people that I was working with in Orange County. I said, "You just watch. Stacia's going to come with little notes," and she did. And my wife was impressed. She's like, "She
Uh-huh.
had little paragraphs on those stickies," and
Wow.
then Maite, because with
Yeah.
Maite it was interesting because here's someone's in these photos, and I
Yeah.
have no idea. Like I never had the opportunity, so I inherently knew that if Prince liked them, he liked them. And the reason I know he liked them is because they still existed, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was still shooting for him.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any real sense of what it was like from their perspective. So I could ask Maite, and that was nice to hear. Basically, they said she kind of said it was, well, it was you. It was you, and we knew you. So that was it. I was like, "Oh, okay, that I guess that makes sense, right?" Instead of
Yeah.
somebody coming in who, you don't know, and they set all the stuff up and all that. So that was really cool. And then when that was at the Pratt, I asked her about that. But then we were in L.A. It was a whole different thing with her there. It was much more casual, and I think partially because we kind of got a lot of that stuff out of the way at the one in Baltimore, and Mike Scott has been a lot of fun because he was the one going like, "Hey, you want me to bring my guitar?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, we could do little sing-alongs." I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." I mean, that's, different. I like that idea, and he was fun to chat with too because same thing. We even drilled down to both of us being in DC around the same time. I was outside of DC, but I worked in DC, and I was talking to him like when I worked on M Street in Georgetown, how Experience Unlimited and Trouble Funk, the guys from those bands would
Yeah.
sit outside with their buckets playing, and he goes, "You know EU?" I said,
Yeah.
"Yeah, of course I do." And he goes like, "Man, I didn't know you rolled like that." I said, "Yeah, I was near DC. How could I not?"
Was it
Like,
the 930 Club?
yeah, the 930 Club is in DC too. Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
further. Which way? I think a little further south, north, south. I don't remember from that area. That
Right.
area was a real hotbed of cool places like Commander Salamander was a punk new wave store, and they had all the clothes. Like all the rock stars would come through there. As a matter of fact, I met um, Andre. No, was it Andre and Dez? No, it was Dez and Matt Fink. I think I got their autographs somewhere from that. They were in the
Okay.
store, and I recognized them. And they're like, "Oh,
Ah.
you coming out to the show?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I wasn't because I didn't. I couldn't drive. I had no way to get there. I can't. I was must have been in town with a friend of mine at that point. So."
Right.
But yeah, it was a cool place, to work, especially back then. So
One of the cool things you've talked about before, that having those informal listening sessions to music Prince just created and kind of vibing with you to get a feel of it. So tell the audience, what songs were you responsible for getting green lighted to go on albums? Anything?
no, I don't think so. The only story I would say that I have that I had any direct influence over the music that I'm aware of was Welcome to the Dawn, because I had done a shoot for him for Holy River. I actually photographed during the Holy River. So with videos,
Right.
they set up lights. So I could shoot kind of live with all those lights. I took advantage of it. So I shot, Holy River, and there was a shot of him with his hands like this and kind of looking up. And I took it back and was like, I like the shot. It wasn't really well balanced to me. I want to do something else. So I kind of used again, like a plug-in set of tools that did kind of a painterly look to it. Because at that time, again, most of the filters in Photoshop were not great. They always look the same, and you could tell when people use them. So I always tried to do something, even if I use them, where you weren't necessarily like, I know that filter, that was my goal. And in this case, it was something a little different. So kind of like the idea was for it to look like paint sort of turning into him. And he came and he saw it and he's like, "Oh, I like that." He goes, "Could you print me one out?" And I did. We had like a Hewlett Packard. It was terrible. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't,
Yeah.
it wasn't high quality. It wasn't, color accurate or anything. And so he took it home. Next day, he comes walking in with a cassette, and I had a CD cassette player that he put in my office so we could listen to music. And he puts it in, hits the button, and I hear this, acoustic song start. I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" And I was like, "Wow!" And it gave me chills. Like just the song itself gave me chills. And he looks at me. He goes, "You know why I wrote that song?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Because of that picture you gave me yesterday." And I was like,
Wow.
like what? You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a thing right there. I was, yeah, blew me
Yeah.
away. Blew me away. So
Well, that's
yeah,
good. He trusts you obviously as a friend. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Before we get towards the end, I got a few questions, but I wanted to talk about a couple of folks friends of our show, who've have you on retainer for lifetime retainer, the Wooten brothers and Paul
Yeah.
Peterson. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, great. They said nice words about you, but you did
Oh.
a recent shoot for the Wooten brothers. Where did that take place?
That was in Nashville.
Oh, you went down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I went down to Nashville in between everything else.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was a great shoot. Their new management, the woman that works with them, also works with Noelle is her first name. She works with Bela Fleck and the Flecktones also.
Right.
And she wanted to look for some locations, which was cool because a lot of times when I've shot with the brothers, we shot like in Victor's backyard, wooded area, because he's in this huge wooded area. And
Right.
those are all great. I mean, that's a lot of fun, but you get kind of a look out of those. Like there's only so much you're going to get out of them. So we shot there. which still got some more good shots out of that. But then she found a place downtown where it had a bunch of kind of locations in the area, and we shot all around there, and it was great. It really went well. The guys are great. They take direction well. They're, I don't know, they're just great to work with across the board. And it's like, I worked with Victor first, and then when I met his brothers, it's like, you're
Yeah.
definitely all from the same family.
Yeah. We've had
They're
Victor on, and Roy had been on the show before.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And Roy's great. A
Right.
funny story about Roy, real quick. I went down to do a shoot with him specifically when my son was fairly small. He probably was like 7 or 8, and we went and we got in late, and we drove up to Roy's house. It was back in the woods, and Duncan had passed out in the car. So I just carried him upstairs. He was still an age I could carry him instead of vice versa.
Right.
But I took him upstairs, put him to bed. We fell asleep. Next morning, Duncan's poking me like, Dad, Dad, Dad. I'm like, what? And he goes, what are those over there? And I look across on the dresser
Uh,
next to the bed, and it was like 8 or 9 Grammys. I said, son, those are Grammys. He's
wow.
like, oh.
Yeah.
It was just funny. Like they're just casually right there,
Yeah. Just,
because I couldn't see him at night. It was dark, it was pretty dark, and I
yeah.
was just trying to get him into bed. So,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But like I said, those guys are great. And of course, Paul's fantastic. I love working with Paul.
Yeah.
I've shot with him, oh God, so many years ago, and we were in Richmond, we did a whole shoot too. So, I just got those photos to him too, because I had the Wooten brothers had things they needed for right now because they're getting ready to go back on tour. And then I had a shoot for a magazine with Maite, and my son ended up being in that one too, which is funny. And then I had, the shoot with Paul. So trying to go through all those photos and, just get rid of some that are either duplicates or not the best ones, and make them. I always make stuff look a little better when I show them to people. I know some people are like, just send the original. No, 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 no. I want you to see
Yeah.
some potential for them
Right.
also. Because sometimes you'll see a shot where I'm like, that's a cool shot, but it's going to need a little work to get its full potential. And I don't want someone to see it and overlook it for that, because it didn't have a little bit of tweak on it. So,
Yeah. He was
yeah,
just
but
on the show with the All Stars recently.
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
he's a great guy. What a
Yeah. Oh,
what
yeah.
a
Definitely.
talent also, and he's given me opportunities too. I mean, like obviously I got to work on the F Deluxe stuff, which was
Right.
like a kind of a dream for me because I love the family, and
Yeah.
to try to make something that sat side by side to the other record visually,
Yeah.
without trying to copy it. We kind of did a little more of that for the vinyl, but that was okay. I was like, okay, I did what I wanted to on the other one as far as like something that would be contemporary now, but would sit side by side nicely to something from that time period. But then with the vinyl, I'm like, I'm gonna make that vibe on it. But Paul gave me an opportunity to do a remix for their Relit CD, which was cool. So I got to do that. And I am by no means a musician, but I listen to a lot of music. I really listen, like, because when I talk to people, sometimes they're like, do you play? I'm like, no. And they're like, really? I would have thought you played. I said, no, I just listen. I really pay attention when I'm
Yeah.
listening. Like I hear stuff because I grew up just listening to music all the time. And then Victor Wooten let me sing background on one of his songs on an album a couple albums ago, which was kind of
Oh,
funny.
really?
I was
Okay.
happened to be in the studio, and he goes like, you said you sing, right? And I did, because I was in theater and I was in musical theater. And he said used to be able to hit the Philip Bailey notes. I said, used to, yes. I said, I don't know about anymore. He goes, well, it's not that high, but he let me do a background on, just a little snippet of background on one of the songs. So that's fun for me because those are things I
Yeah.
never thought I'd get to do, so.
We actually were in attendance to Live at the Quick with the Flecktones, the
Oh,
DVD
yeah.
they put out. It was right on campus where WVOF, our radio station, was in Connecticut, and they did 2 shows. We were at the second one, so yeah, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys are amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom was a fan of the Flecktones before I'd heard of them. So that's kind of
Oh,
funny.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
he came on the show once. He's a really nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they all are.
I wanted to ask you a few quick questions. This is kind of like a lightning round kind of question. I mean,
Okay.
if you want to answer
I can
any
do
of them.
that.
Yeah. Favorite album cover you've worked on?
That is hard. Eek.
Okay, you don't want to.
You know, well,
Well, you don't have to answer
Okay.
everyone. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. there's a reason for this that's beyond just the album cover. Again, it's like a cool factor and getting to work with something I didn't expect. I did the Heroes cover with Wendy and Lisa that they used for their. So there were two different albums. There was one that was music that inspired the writers, and I worked on that on the inside. And then the Wendy and Lisa one proper, I got to do. And what was fun about that for me was I took the shots, all the shots of them, but we were matching the promo shots for the Heroes where you saw all the characters standing, but then I used Wendy and Lisa as the characters. And it was just fun because it was such a fun concept. And again, it's like working with them was amazing, really, truly amazing. But also I got to deal with this kind of national show that was very, very, hot at the moment and kind of spin it off of the existing work. So that made it really fun from the standpoint of like tying something heavily into a pop culture icon that already existed, So that, yeah, that was a lot of fun for me because it was, I guess I never would have expected that project,
Right.
and of course, I mean, Graffiti Bridge has to be there only because I did something that I wasn't expecting to become anything unto itself, and suddenly it became the thing. So
Yeah.
how could I not,
Were you in the movie at all?
Oh no,
You didn't make
that
any
was all
scenes?
done. No, no,
Yeah.
That was done at Paisley Park. I did get to go to the premiere in New York. That was a lot of fun. So,
Speaking of Paisley Park, what is your favorite room in Paisley Park?
oh, wow. It depends on where Prince was in it.
Okay.
I mean, the studio was cool because he would bring me down and let me watch him record,
Right.
like his guitar and stuff. And I later found out that was not the norm at all. As a matter of fact, I understood from the engineers that told me this, he didn't have the band in there as much as he had me in there relative to how often I was out there. And I just thought that was normal, but it's like, no, I realized he was rewarding me. Like if he liked something that I was doing, he would have me come down and listen to what he was doing. And he literally could be like laying down a guitar track and talking to me at the same time. It was crazy. I mean, just to, I don't think that's an observation that someone in the studio would make because it's probably, well, yeah, of course, somebody could play their bass part and still be having a conversation or play their drum. Well, you couldn't really probably heard them over the drums, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
That's probably something people do in the studio. But from someone who's not in the studio, that's insane to me that you could sit
Yeah.
there and do that and just holding a straight up conversation with me. So I don't know how abnormal that is, but that was pretty crazy to me.
You witnessed a lot there. So
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to ask you about funniest Prince moment. I'm sure there are many, but do you have one that pops to your head right now?
Well, the one that's popping in my head about right now, it's because it involved a photo shoot, and so I've been telling it
Okay.
recently because I'm sure him answering the phone sometimes like it was a Chinese takeout or something. He would
Right.
he'd pick up the phone or he'd have a Southern accent or a Minnesota accent. It was my office phone, and he'd pick it up, and then once he'd say like, "Well, let me see if he's here." He'd just hand me the phone, and I'm just like, you know, but but no, we were doing a photo shoot with him and Maite, and it was very like he's standing behind her. It's all very loving and stuff. And someone noticed that her hair needed to be fixed, and so he stepped back, and he's like stuck in back behind her, and she's in front of him like up here, and they're working on her hair, and he kind of looks at me and kind of like doing one of these. I'm like, what? And he's like, like this. I'm like, oh, okay. So I get the camera up, and he just turns and he's like this, and he makes this goofy smile and pointing to the sky, and I got it.
Yeah.
And later, it was hilarious, but I also couldn't crack up because I didn't want to try to give away what's
Yeah.
going on. Because then my tate's gonna be like, "What was that about?" But she
Let me
saw
see
it
that
eventually.
picture.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. Yeah.
Right.
But of course, that was one he kept. He actually kept it for a long time. And then at one
Oh,
point, we
okay.
were cleaning up the hard drive, and so I would keep stuff on the desktop sometimes. And unfortunately, I kept that one on the desktop instead of inside a folder. And he's like, "What's that? Little tiny thing like this." I blew it up, and he's like, "Oh." I said, yeah, we can get rid of that. I'm like,
Oh,
oh. So, but I mean, literally, it survived for like 6 or 7 months. And, we
yeah.
needed to get, that was another thing I try and tell people like hard drives back then had very little space on them. So we were constantly purging stuff, which sucks because there's a lot of cool stuff that we purged. But, it is what
Yeah. I
it is.
think Morris
He
Hayes
looked
told
at
me
it
a
like,
story like that. Yeah.
who was it? Oh,
Morris Hayes,
Sam?
the effects on the
Oh,
computer,
Morris.
he had to delete stuff and before, before going on to the next show. There wasn't enough room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I think there's a lot of stuff there that now it would be cool to have, or even the files from the albums, having to, when they redid them, sometimes you had to take it from the existing vinyl or CD packaging and then rework it from there because the original files don't exist anymore on some of that stuff. So, which I did some on Emancipation, and it, kind of a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to do that. So, yeah.
Let's get back to the book. I want to thank you for spending all this time with us, Steve.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah. Just a storied career, and black, white, and color out there. Do you have a preference where people can order it, or just wherever they can get it?
Wherever they can find it. I mean, right now, so the double edition sold out very quickly,
Right.
much to the surprise of the publishers. So they are going to be reprinting, and it is supposed to be out no later than the end of October. If you go to ACC Art Books UK, I'm pretty sure that's it, and you look the book up, the double edition, you can put your name, your email address in to be notified when it comes back out. So you'll kind of be like one of the first people to know that it's out, so you can make sure to get it. I recommend trying to get it through a local book company, because one of the problems I heard from a lot of people is that Amazon is not real careful with their packaging.
Oh,
And some
okay.
people got them, but they were like, especially the big one, they're heavy. And so that
Yeah,
means
yeah.
if they're bouncing around in there, they're going to hit those edges, and they like broke the edges and stuff like that. So that kind of sucks. So I always say support local bookstores if you can.
Yeah, just the black, white, and color. It's like a 6-pounder, with packaging.
Yeah,
So it's pretty.
yeah, it's a workout.
Yeah. You
And
didn't,
even that,
yeah.
even
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
even the black white color is low right now. There's low amounts of them. So, if you can get
Yeah.
it, I get it now. But they're reprinting that as well for because it'll be towards the holidays, which makes sense to have
Yeah.
them available. So yeah.
And in the meantime, we were talking off air, some more meet and greets, and are you going to be
I
hitting the
hope so.
stores? Yeah.
Yeah. So the people that organize the Orange County and the LA show are looking to try to do something in Palm Beach, then do something in Las Vegas, and then possibly in Chicago. So we're kind of talking about that now. I'm hoping to get to the UK in the new year sometime. Might not be till February, but I would love to do something in the UK and then hop over and some of the countries that are right over there. So funny to me. People go like, well, that's a 2-hour flight. I'm like, oh no, 2-hour flight, and because I get it. Like, we're such a big country. You fly from coast to coast, and that's 5 hours. You
Yeah.
could fly to the UK in 5 hours too. So, I certainly don't mind. I'll take a train, I'll take whatever, but I'd love to get to the Netherlands. I'd love to get to Spain, Germany,
France.
France.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if I've left anybody out, I'll try to get to all of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I would love to do that, but it's kind of contingent on getting to the UK. I've been working with someone on a bigger project as far as what it would be, other than just me. But timing is always an issue, and also getting, I've been learning very quickly that setting up an event, especially when it needs money to
Yeah.
happen, to get people out and stuff like that, it's a lot of hoops. It's a lot of hoops, and I'm not used to that part. I'm used to the hey, we're doing this thing, we want you to come, and I don't have to think about any of it. So, but I really, I'm hoping, fingers crossed for that one, because if that happened, everybody's going to be like, oh wow, how did you manage that? It's like,
Yeah. You were a big hit for the Icon. You had all the photographers, and people loved it for you over there.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really great. It was great meeting all those guys too. Honestly, they were all had some fantastic careers and things they've shot. It was, very humbling, frankly. I'm kind of like, oh, I'm so lucky to be amongst you guys.
Yeah. It's just, and the PRN alumni, you've been involved in that as well.
Yes.
Just Jackie Thompson, and we wish Jackie well. She's a great lady, as you know, she's
Yeah.
your friend. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been working with her and Ingrid on a mezcal too, so that's been fun.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've got a
doing
couple
the
different
design
businesses.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
So stevepark.com, and we'll have
Yes.
all the details there. People, for the reprint, if you're missing out right now, the deluxe edition, October, I think you mentioned, but we'll have all the links there. And I don't write questions down. I just write like 1 or 2 words, and we didn't even get to 75% of them. So we'll have to have
that's
you come
all right.
back. You've got an open
Yeah, I was
invite.
gonna say. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great. I'd love to do it. That's fun.
Yeah. So thanks, Steve. Really appreciate it. And get some
Yeah,
rest
thank you.
before you're out for your next expedition.
I'm trying, but
Yeah.
I've got a list. I've got a
You
list.
got a
That's
list there.
part of
Whoa.
it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And it's all handwritten too, which makes it even worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, what is this? Oh
Right. Right.
no, I knew what it
Yeah. You
was.
didn't have the Prince handwriting skills, right?
No, I never had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I had a doctor's handwriting is what I have.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Steve.